2013 Dodge Dart Custom Racetrack Tail Lights Install Video Part 1. The first thing you're going to do, get the door jamb or puller from any hardware store, should run about $10. You're going to use this to remove all of the plugs inside the inner trunk. Got one here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plugs. Then over on the corners, over by the brakes, 1, 2, 3 on both sides. Once you do that, your trunk cover liner will be laying in there or wherever you so choose. You're going to pull, there's going to be 2 bolts here and there that come from, it's a large clip here and a small clip in back. You'll remove those 1, 2, there's hidden bolts in here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that will remove the racetrack tail light. If you have backup camera, you'll want to remove this. That's going to be used with that same plug puller / door jamb remover. And then once you pull all these, you've got access to this harness here. This is what you're going to be plugging into. Your new kit already has those same factory plugs that will plug directly into there. Other thing you're going to need to do is going to be to remove, this is the clip that holds on, or that connects your reverse lights. It gets connected here. There is 2 plugs right there that you'll need to use that plug remover for in order to get those off of there. Just wanted to make that note. So once you remove those 7 screws, you will be able to remove the racetrack housing. Once that is off, what you are looking for is this end right here. You want to be able to pop those off, which that just simply slides off. I'm just kind of doing it one-handed. Just the light. Here, we've got one already removed on this side. So you want to remove, it just slides off. And so it just fits like so. You want to slide that off. This is the only critical part of this whole process. These little 4 spots right there, 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 and there, that meets up with this here. Be careful, do not damage those. That is the only visible part that is on your vehicle that will be detectable, aside from the wires at a later point. You do not want to damage that, or it will show that you've got a modification. This will be the contents of your bag. You will have a length of waterproof foil tape that you will use to cover up any holes that you make in the housing. You've got both of your wire management systems there. You've got your passenger side is yellow, driver's side is green, your 8 zip ties, and your instructions, which I'm sure you've already pulled out by now because you've learned how to take your trunk apart. Okay, when you're getting ready to start drilling your holes, here we have the factory pre-lit set. Here is the factory non-lit set. So far, the only difference is the pre-lit plastic is just a little bit different of a material than the original non-lit plastic. But you can see what I've done. This is how I did the drills and the holes and everything for the original, for the YouTube video that you all saw. I just drilled just big holes. I don't know if everybody can see this, but I mean, as long as you stay away from those 4 tabs, everything else is fair game. So, I mean, my hole here is probably about 1 inch by maybe 1 1/4 inches. You can make these holes as big as you want to make it as easy as possible in order to get your lights in there and get them exactly the way that you want them, the way that you think looks good. You can see down here, I mean, you can see I've tried multiple angles. All of them work just fine. Just stay away from those 4 clips and you're good. Start drilling. We've got about a 3/8 inch drill bit on here. That's just kind of the size that this portable drill fits, or else I would have a 1/2 inch and just be able to kill more coverage in one spot. But you see, I'm not going too crazy. I'm not going off the walls. Okay, I guess I'm going off the walls. Okay, you can hear I've made it through the first layer. We are dealing with multiple layers here. We've got, this is the original set that came on my car when I purchased it from factory. I have literally cut this set in half. It's got 4 pieces to it. So what you want to do is, you don't want to destroy this reflective shield. You're going to go through the plastic into the reflective shield, and then you're going to line your lights straight in this track. If you can see, there's ridges in this track. Those are going to be any obstacles that you're going to have to overcome. Just makes it a little bit difficult to kind of feed them through. Just do your best. You're not going to hurt the lights. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our way through that reflective shield. We don't want to bust it up too bad. However, if you do crack it or break it, it's okay. The reflective tape that is supplied to you that also seals everything up, that works as a reflector as well. There's a reason why I chose reflective foil tape. It'll be able to cover up any spots that you go through, so don't worry about anything. You're not going to do any damage that you can't cover up at a later point. I'm just being very careful because this is the first time that we're drilling into the factory pre-lits. So I just want to make sure to be careful that I don't hit the factory pre-lit lights. So this is kind of being a little bit of an experiment. Go ahead and continue to the next video and we will show you exactly what the pre-lit sets are looking for or looking at. But when you're dealing with the originals, you've got nothing. Just go ahead and just work your way through it, and we'll be able to cover that back up and make you nice and reflective all over again. Okay, when you're getting ready to do the install of the light ropes here, what you're going to do is, this one on this set is my brake, and this side on this set is my running lights. What I want to do is I want the brake lights to be facing out towards the reflector to give the best difference in light. So just make sure that when you do the install, the brakes are facing out towards your the people behind you. So when you want to do it, you go ahead and take it. This one here, I'm going to go ahead and face it down. I've got my hole. And you just start feeding it in from there. Of course, this one wants to be tricky. You just start feeding it through your hole. If you get stuck, flip the unit upside down and try and continue feeding, because what you've done is you've probably ended up hitting one of those little spots like I did here. Oh, looks like I'm able to kind of push my way through it. I know this is going to sound absolutely silly, but if you wanted to take like a little bit of like KY jelly or like a water-based lubricant, something that will not discolor, you can kind of just lightly coat these lights, but you just don't want to put too much because you don't want to create any kind of oily residue, or else it might kind of make your lights look weird. Just enough to kind of just make it glide through, and I would say just put it just maybe on the very maybe inch of the unit. So I've kind of hit a stuck spot here, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. Hold that, please. That will allow me to finish feeding it the last couple of inches. So you got stuck again. Turn it back over. And what you're looking to do is you want to line your lights up with the center of the D. And always be careful when you're doing the install. This connection right here, this is where the wires are soldered. You do not want to damage that, or your lights may not work. So please be careful. I've tried to do what I can to insert little hard boards to keep that from bending. That way you guys don't have to worry about damaging your lights. Just make sure you get it nice and in there. If you need to pull it out a little bit, go ahead. But just make sure you get it nice and in there all the way. Once you get your light tube in place, you're going to want to take your wires and just make sure that you are not putting a crease where the wire meets your light string here. You do not want to make that crease or your lights may not work. You do not want to break that solder joint. I've done what I can to make sure that it's as strong as possible, but it is not indestructible. However, it is rather durable. You're going to want to just kind of put your wire here. You want to run it right next to this foam padding. This foam padding, all it is for is it just removes any of the vibration between your tail housing and the trunk of your car. So we're actually going to use this. This setup right here is your reverse lights. Once you get your other light tube in place, this whole harness is going to slide through the same hole that this pops through in the trunk of your lid, or the lid of your trunk. Sorry. If you would like, which is not necessary, but if you would like, you can go ahead and just take a small strip of that foam padding out, just so you have somewhere to kind of put your wire through without having to worry about any bunching or anomalies or anything like that. However, this foam, it's rather thick and it flexes rather well, but the choice is yours. You don't have to do it. Okay, here we have our finished product. Here you can see that we've covered our holes back up and we have our wire running right next to the reverse lights, because we're going to put our harness is going to go through the same hole in the trunk that the reverse lights go through. So you can see we did not damage any part of that side. We stayed just a little bit off of it. So this set here is going to be good to go. So we are getting ready to go and install this on the car, and we will show you what that looks like. We're out at the car. You want to take each one of the harnesses and pass it through where your reverse light is going to go through. You go ahead and just keep pulling and feeding it through. Try not to let the screws scratch your car. And you want to pull the other wire harness that goes for the actual wiring for the reverse lights.
You're getting in the way.
There. Okay, there's that. Up. Want to make sure that you've got your side brackets on. That one's on. From the side, you see no visible modifications. Go ahead.
You can't see it very well.
Okay, that one is on. Make sure we're... Okay, so once you've got that in place, you're going to connect your male to female to female. Run that towards the front of the car, as well as your wires. You want to run them towards the bottom of the arm on this trunk. And go ahead and put your trunk back. That. And then we'll come over here to this other side. You grab this clip right here on the top. That's going to be in the way. it would be a clip just like this. You pinch and then pull. And push all the wires towards the front. Close that guy back up. And then from there, you're going to want to put all 7 of your bolts and screws and everything back on. You'll put all, I believe it was 9 of the plugs holding the trunk liner back in, as well as your plugs that are going to go here, here, and under here. And then once you're done there, enjoy. Okay, this is after final install. We've got the trunk back together. I want everybody to see this is the side, just exactly how it looked before we started. There are no anomalies. You cannot see that anything has been done to this car aside from beautiful paint job and a whole lot of love. The only difference that you will see between your car and somebody who doesn't have it, this is the dealer wire harness. This is your new one. This is the only evidence anyone will ever have that you have tampered with your car. It would take people hours of searching before anybody brakes. Okay. Turn signals. Okay. Go ahead and do the brakes with turn signals. Go ahead and shut it off. Go ahead and close the door and lock her up. All right, go ahead and cycle through all the motions. Brakes, turn signals. Okay. And that's running lights. That's brakes.